So I feel that there are two groups of fans that have differing opinions on the return of Wolverine portrayed by Hugh Jackman in Deadpool 3. One group feels that it should have all ended and stayed, of course, in conclusion with the Logan film by James Mangold, and others feel that they are very ecstatic over Hugh Jackman's return to come into the equation of Deadpool 3, since he will actually be sporting the traditional Wolverine costume, you know, the entire yellow attire that we have seen in the comics before that have never been portrayed, by the way, in live-action form. But so far, there's been a lot of drama happening between the creators, the actors/actresses, going up against the Disney heads over everything related to the third act of this film and the butchering of Wolverine in the first act of the movie. Let's discuss. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Hugh Jackman is that we know that this is a guy that really loves his fans through and through. He has been very open about this on Instagram and on all forms of social media. He loves to not only communicate with the fans, but he also loves to respect them. And that is the type of actor that I think that we need to cherish, right? So, I actually do congratulate Hugh for standing up against Disney, as we discussed a couple of days ago. These ongoing tensions happening in light of multiple scenes getting deleted for Wolverine that Disney felt was way too violent and extreme. A lot of this had to do with his introduction as a character, going throughout all the different wars, very much in a fashion like X-Men Origins Wolverine, where it shows you his wars throughout Vietnam, World War II, etc., etc. However, what's interesting about all of this is that with the Deadpool 3 drama only getting more complex for both the creatives and the Disney heads, one major development has much to do with Hugh Jackman after the Wolverine character was butchered by Bob Iger and Kevin Feige over at Marvel Studios for the first act of the film. However, one significant update has to do now with Hugh Jackman taking serious action against Disney after they cut out 3 very important scenes that would focus on all the wars that Wolverine went through. A very important update about all this drama is that not only did Hugh Jackman recently refuse to promote Deadpool 3 on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show, Good Morning America, and The View, that was all planned out by the end of June of this year, but is now also giving Disney a serious ultimatum of discontinuing any talks of his involvement with future Marvel projects, and is even warning Disney that he is willing to step down and quit from the upcoming Avengers Secret Wars film as one of the leads to return as Wolverine unless they do the right thing for the third act of Deadpool. And not just with that, but also the struggles that Ryan Reynolds has been going through, and also to reinstate the scenes that he had partially shot for the war scenes in Vietnam and World War II that got completely axed by Disney and Kevin Feige at Marvel Studios. In addition to this, Hugh Jackman is also warning Disney and giving them a serious ultimatum that he is also considering of dropping out of one of the main X-Men movies from Marvel Phase 7, which is still a long ways to go regardless. Bob Iger and the Disney heads are already running into full panic mode after Hugh Jackman put his foot down just days ago after all of this drama started for Deadpool 3 and the Wolverine character getting butchered and watered down in the first act in its introduction. This also comes in light of the recent test screening of the movie that Disney felt that the film had way too many violent scenes for Wolverine, with the overuse of offensive words in the film by Ryan and Hugh that they felt needed to also get dialed down quite a bit. Something that Hugh Jackman also had serious problems with as he decided to defend writers Rhett, Reese, and Paul Wernick, along with Ryan Reynolds and his creative input. As of now, Disney is desperately trying to drop the trailer at the Super Bowl on February 11th with an attractive trailer and a series of footage that will boost up hype for the film. So guys, let me stop here for one moment, alright? Now, we know that Disney in recent years, they have been very misleading when it comes to many of their trailers. I think the biggest misleading trailer of all time, and/or teaser, was The Last Jedi, where it really ramped up hype for that movie, and then when you went to go ahead and see that film, it really turned upside down now, didn't it, right? If you guys go back at the trailers and the TV spots, the teasers of that movie, you're blown away. I mean, it's so well edited, the music is well fit. It made you believe that it was going to be a great movie. I'm not saying that this is anything new. I mean, of course, many studios want to make a trailer to kind of boost up hype. It's all marketing. Yes, I get that. But Disney does it to a new low. They do it to the point where it's completely just misleading, really trying to drag in every single person into the theaters to really kind of just get any kind of ticket sale as possible. Now, what's interesting about this is the fact that Jackman is taking things as far to the point of really putting his foot down and saying, if you don't do the correct thing here, I'm not willing to work with Disney again. I'm not willing to work with Secret Wars as a film or the X-Men / mutant era material from Marvel Phase 7. That's basically what is going down right now, is that Jackman has had enough of all the drama and all of the issues at hand. And like I said earlier, in recent weeks, I feel that Deadpool 3 is going to be a mixed bag, because for the most part, the first and second act had no problems. It wasn't until the third act came into the equation that Disney wanted to push their DEI narrative, everything related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, which we obviously know comes from bad intentions by Disney. It's never what it really truly sounds like. But what's interesting about this, again, on top of that, Jackman is also desperately fighting Disney to get his scenes reinstated by standing up with Ryan and the writers behind the film to force Disney to do what is right for them and for the fans. Wolverine's return in Secret Wars, as a result, is now hanging on by a thread with Jackman's intense warnings against Disney and how he is not willing to work with a studio that holds false promises, not just to its talent, but also to its creators. Now, the creators of Deadpool 3 are set to hold another remote meeting with those like Iger and Kevin Feige, along with the creators, by the end of this month to discuss these matters further. Regardless of the drama, they are still planning on ending filming by this February or late January at the earliest, with reshoots planned and in the talks for April before its July release date window. And guys, I've said this many times, this is going to be a very tight production. What do I mean by that? Well, it's going to take a lot of rushing to get this movie out by July. Alright, they're still filming right now, and they are still slated to have reshoots and pickup shots and all that crazy stuff, right? And by the time they get the marketing done and all pretty much set in, they're just going to be releasing this movie right on time. I mean, it's going to be a tight one for Disney. It really is. Probably one of the most rushed movies out there in recent times. And I would not be too shocked if the conversations that have been going on right now between Iger and Kevin Feige about potentially delaying this thing until either late August or late September, it's not too far-fetched that could very well get greenlit by the end of this month. So overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this whole Jackman fiasco with Disney and everything else happening with his two big deleted scenes, that were really going to serve a great purpose for the character in the first act. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.